Hi guys, it's Kyarko here, back with another speed build. This is a speed build of a diner that's been converted into a base camp slash hideaway during a zombie apocalypse. I created the survivors who live here yesterday, so you could go watch that character build. There's 8 people who live here, and this takes place approximately 3 to 5 years into this zombie apocalypse. I don't really have any details. I haven't really thought about like what this zombie apocalypse is, like what caused it. I'm not sure. And maybe it's like a Last of Us situation where it's like an ecological thing with like a fungus. Maybe it's like a experiment gone wrong. I'm not quite sure. But I mean, that's not super relevant at this point. At this point, you know, the world is basically doomed. Everything's gone to shit, and these people live in a diner now because it's basically the only place that they can be safe. So yeah, this is a very interesting build. It was very fun to do. It took me a long time to do. That's why this video is a little bit longer, and that's just because there's a lot of little details I wanted to add to make the space seem more realistic and more actually like run down and used. Like, it's been like a while since society has been functioning, and you'll kind of see what I mean as we go along. But here I am just looking through the debug menu, just kind of pulling out random things that I thought would work for this space. I'm going through the debug, I'll be going through the debug menu for a while, mainly because I just wanted to pull out a lot of community objects that for some reason just aren't in the normal build by mode. You have to go to debug to find them. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just pulling out signs, fire hydrants, cars, just little things I thought would add details to the space to make it seem like a public space. So the design behind this diner is it kind of being like a classic, almost like retro style diner with like the booths and stuff. It's not super themed, it's just kind of like a classic American diner is what I was going for. And the group of survivors, as I talked about yesterday in my video yesterday, are pretty much kind of like a family. They take care of each other, they, you know, they're trying to survive together. So this is kind of like their home. As I said before, it's basically like their base camp. And it's basically the only place where they can be safe from all the zombies. Yeah. A playthrough might actually be possible of this because I actually do have a zombie mod where you can like start a zombie apocalypse and like you can like convert some Sims into zombies. It's like a really cool mod, and you guys should definitely check it out. But we'll see if we want to do that playthrough or not. It'll probably be pretty sad. I definitely had plans in the back of my mind when I was building the Sims, like, oh, which Sims are gonna die in the zombie apocalypse, and definitely there's gonna be some sad choices if I choose to do that. It'll be some Walking Dead shit. I've never seen The Walking Dead, but I've heard that it's very sad. Here I am putting in a car that they're like plugging in or like charging or something. I don't know. It's not an electric car. They're just doing some maintenance on that car. And that was just one of the little details I added because I definitely wanted this space, again, to seem very used, very realistic. I mean, like, not totally realistic, but, you know, somewhat realistic. I mean, a zombie apocalypse itself isn't very realistic, but in that imaginary scenario, you know, this is as realistic as I think I could have gotten it. So I put some cars here, that big truck. I kind of figured that these are their means of transportation, the survivors, I mean. I thought the big old truck would be especially useful to them for like transportation and like getting everyone to safe places and stuff like that. Here I am blocking off the main entrance with various pieces of furniture and trash, just making it seem like they were blocking off the door on purpose to, you know, protect themselves, to like really make sure that the base was secure. And then we have like all these like backlot places behind this fence where I figured when the diner was actually functioning could serve as like places where they would like have dumpsters and trash, and maybe places where they had like extra food storage, something like that. So I just put some dumpsters out there. And then let's see, there's gonna be like a lot of exterior here, and I'm really happy with how the exterior of this turned out, which is rare for me because I usually don't do very well with exteriors. They're usually like the bane of my existence and I don't usually enjoy them, but this one I really did enjoy. And I think it's because like there wasn't a lot of pressure. I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself to make it look great because it was supposed to look like run down and trashy and dirty, so like it's so easy to do that, you know, because you just throw things out randomly, you put trash everywhere, and it looks like very well done, I think, at least. But I'm putting all this like bushery, I don't know, all these bushes around the the edge of this lot to just make it seem overgrown and to cover up the lot lines and the place where the concrete ends, because as always, this map does not, or not this map, but this lot does not connect to the road. It just has like a dirt path. I hate it when they make lots like not connect, and then I have to like justify why there's like a patch of concrete in the middle of all this dirt. I don't know. So I just covered it with plants around the edges just to make it seem, you know, overgrown and like humanity has gone away. But yeah, the general idea by making this lot look overgrown and trashy, again, was just to make it seem like, you know, it's been a long time since society was functioning, and everything's now kind of gone to shit. But here I am just putting in just random trash now. This part was really fun because, you know, littering in real life is very bad, but littering in game is weirdly fun. Just putting down trash in all these different places, making it seem trying to like place trash with like purpose, if that makes sense, like putting all these like piles of letters together, putting like random things in certain places to kind of make it seem like they're intended to be there. I don't know how to explain it, but I was just trying to think of little stories as to why pieces of trash were in certain places, if that makes sense. But yeah, so here I am just, you know, dirtying up the place. I definitely wanted to cover as much of this concrete as possible just because it was so clean, pristine, this concrete. I wish we had more like cracked and broken up and really like shitty concrete. That would have made this look a lot better, I think, but I still think that, you know, the addition of all this trash looks pretty good. But yeah, here I'm just putting in random trash piles. A lot of this is from the Eco Lifestyle pack, maybe from the debug menu, I'm not sure. But like it came with a lot of trash because like the world in the Eco Lifestyle pack has like a neighborhood that's like particularly trashed, so it just has like a lot of trash objects, I guess, which is actually really useful for this build and for a lot of other builds. So I put this chair here as like a kind of lookout spot or like a watch spot on the ground. I don't have any like gun weaponry in my games, and that's for a lot of reasons, but I didn't want to include any guns in this build, so instead I'm using like bats and other melee weapons. Actually, I'm pretty sure this one bat right here is the only weapon I actually put here. So like in a real life zombie apocalypse, these people would probably be a little bit screwed. They don't really have a way to necessarily protect themselves other than just like hiding in this place. I mean, in a real zombie apocalypse, they probably would have like guns and weapons and stuff like that, but I just don't have a lot of weaponry in my game. So just use your imagination, pretend that they have weapons, I guess. So up here is a lookout spot. So I put a pair of binoculars there, and then I actually put up a camera there too, so they can take pictures and stuff. And then over here I put another lookout spot on the back so that they basically have, you know, a 360-degree view of everything around the diner. And that roof is accessible by that ladder I put on the side there, so it actually is usable in game. They can actually get up to that roof and, you know, be lookouts, I guess. But here I am gonna board up windows, or not yet. I'm gonna board up my windows later. Right now I'm gonna put out some clotheslines because I figured, you know, they could wash their clothes in the sink inside the diner and then like hang them up outside, because obviously there's not like a drying machine or anything like that. And they have that little fenced off area, so it's kind of, you know, kind of protected, I guess. And then here I am boarding up my windows. These are the only window boards I could find in my game. I wish that the new paranormal pack came with like boarded windows, because I feel like that'd be great for like a haunted paranormal house, which is what the pack was about. But they didn't include it, but I mean, that's okay. I still have these boards, which are pretty cool. And then over here I just put on window bars. And then let's see, now we're moving on to inside the diner. So basically this diner has 4 parts. There's the bathroom, the main, you know, dining, eating area, the kitchen, and then the storage room, which I kind of figured that layout is probably in general what you would find in a real life diner, because the idea here is that it's a diner that was converted into a hideout. So there's a lot of things about the actual diner that are still the same. And we'll get into that in a second. Like there's still like the booths and the counters and all that stuff. So here I am putting in my red tiles because my color palette had a lot of red in it, and I really liked, you know, like in my head, like diners traditionally and classically are very, very red. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I always see the word diner in my head in red letters, if that makes any sense at all. But I'm gonna set up a main eating counter here, and this is kind of like the counter where people go and sit and like order breakfast and a coffee or something like that. And I just went with this counter because I just thought it looked very classic, kind of retro, like what a normal diner would probably look like. Putting in some stools, and then I just try to make them look a little bit messed up, a little bit out of disarray. And then around here I was trying to figure out where I was gonna put my booths. The booths were bigger than I thought that they were, and I didn't really like how they were blocking windows, so I do end up putting in booths, but I come back to them later. I'm gonna stop doing that for now just because I was getting frustrated with how big they were. Putting in some speakers, just little things you'd find in a diner. Little signs, little things like that. This wall over here, I wanted to be like a wall of, pictures of family, I guess we're not there yet. Well, the wall where I put the Polaroids, we'll look at it in a second, but it's like a wall of pictures of family members and stuff like that. But I'm decorating behind the counter right now. I put in that diner sign, the neon sign, and then putting in little, patches of broken wall in different places. And now we're moving on to the picture wall, I think. Are we? Yeah, okay, so this wall, which I adjusted a little bit later, doesn't end up looking exactly like this, but the idea behind it was that this is where they put pictures of loved ones, people that they've lost, people that, were in their lives that were, killed during the zombie apocalypse, or like notes or just like things that, it's like a remembrance wall, basically. It's kind of morbid, but I thought it would be a pretty good touch for, a zombie apocalypse diner home, I guess. And then back here, I just kept the decoration pretty simple. Put on a clock, just put on some random things that seemed diner-y. And then over here, I end up, let's see, what do I do? I end up putting just little decorations here that make it seem like, people live here and are doing things here. You can see I put that guitar in the corner. That is for Jessie, who I created yesterday, who likes to play music. And then over here, I'm just putting in, little setups to make it seem like people are using this space. You can also put a little teddy bear over there on the counter, and that's for like the little girl Alex, or I don't know, just someone in the character build I did yesterday. And then I'm gonna set up, I put a little like couch thing in front of the door, like they moved that in there to block the door for like extra safety. And then that's gonna be used as a bed. Pretty much like all the booths I ended up putting in this game, as well as like certain seating areas, are gonna be like converted into beds, because that's pretty much the only place they can sleep comfortably. And then over here, just put in like a little table, like a little diner table, and this is just like a general place where people sit and eat and talk, I guess. I don't know. Putting in like random coffee cups and books just to make it seem, again, like people are using this space and sitting there and like, I don't know, talking about like plans and stuff, like where they're gonna get supplies, I don't know, stuff like that. I thought about putting in a rug, but it didn't really go with the diner vibe at all, so didn't put any rugs in. And then I end up putting in two different booths, one on the left side and one on the right side. So this booth here is also going to be converted into a bed. And then the table, I don't remember what table I use. I think I used the table that came with the diner pack, this one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe? I'm not sure, let's see. I'm pretty sure it was that table, because not really any of the other tables fit. But you can see I put a table behind it, because that table's going to be it's going to be like a supply table, you'll see in a sec. But this table, or this booth, is going to be a bed too. As you can see, I'm putting a pillow on there, and then I'm going to end up putting a blanket on there as well, and just make it seem like someone is sleeping here. Yeah. And then over here I do the same thing with this booth, put some chairs, and then I end up putting another pillow and blanket, again, to make this space seem like a person has converted this into a bed. And that blanket is folded, because this person folds her blanket, I guess, I don't know. And then over here I'm going to put in some art supplies. This is for, what's her name? Misha, who I built yesterday, because I imagine that she was a very artistic person who likes drawing and stuff like that, so that's kind of her space over there. And then over here I just put in some books, some random stuff to make it seem like someone was reading before they slept or something like that. And then this is like a general supply table where they keep like normal supplies, toolbox, megaphone, just things that they may need in a pinch, soap, I don't know, random stuff. Let's see, what else should I put here? Pens, if they need pens, boots, just like a general supplies, I guess. And then over here, just putting in more sitting spaces again to just make it seem like this was once a diner where people actually did, you know, eat and stuff. I don't know. And then I end up making this counter space also into a bed. Although this would be much more uncomfortable than the other, you know, booth beds, I still felt like I needed more beds since there's like 8 people who live here, so 3 beds wasn't enough, so I just ended up making the counter space into a bed. And then I'm just throwing in some random, you know, decorations here and there, and then we're gonna move on to the bathroom really quick. So this bathroom is very simple. I didn't go crazy decorating it. I figure they keep it relatively clean, have a laundry basket, you know, soap, just keeping it simple. I think I put a sponge here, yeah, because there's no shower here, so to, you know, to clean themselves, they probably just have to like take a sponge bath with the sink, something like that. So I figured that this bathroom would be relatively empty because it's used mainly as like a shower room. And then I started setting up the storage room over here. I really like these storage racks. I think they're from Strangerville. I'm not sure. They're probably from Strangerville. Yeah, they're nice. I like them a lot. And then I'm just throwing in some extra decorations just to make it seem like they're different storage racks, you know, like they're not like the same copy of, you know, the same storage rack on both sides. And then I thought about putting a bed in there, but it just didn't really fit, so ended up not doing that. I do throw this cot over here. So there is another bed over there, just like a, you know, emergency cot that they found, something like that. Put a little fridge back here, and then we're gonna do the kitchen. The kitchen, I use these counters, which I thought were really cool, this like metal tint sheen thing as like the countertop, and I really liked how that looked. It really did feel very diner-ish to me. And then I'm gonna throw in some cupboards up here. I really like this cupboard that's like open. I feel like it adds an extra element of like realism, I guess. And then I'm just gonna decorate as if, you know, they're using this kitchen for making food and, you know, all that kind of thing. I put in a bottle of gin there. I ended up deleting that because I didn't really have a reason to have it there. Putting in, again, just more decorations, sponges, stuff like that. I put a little toothbrush thing on one side as if they're like brushing their teeth in the kitchen sink. And then in the center of this kitchen, in a moment, maybe not yet. Well, I'm gonna throw in a few more decorations, and then in the center of this kitchen, I just put a table, you'll see in a sec, with just like some chairs as if, you know, people are still using this space to talk and play and chill and all that kind of stuff. Here's the table, putting in just some decorations and just putting in a little electrical box. I kind of figured that this table in the kitchen would be where they teach Misha English, something like that. It's like a little study table, or maybe it's where they teach like also the kids, you know, school stuff, because I think they would still like teach them stuff. But yeah, that is the build. This is super fun to do, very new for me, never done a build like this before. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.